Alcohol is the only socially accepted performance destroying drug in the executive world, right? And here's a stat that you have never heard before. Even moderate drinking, maybe you say 7 drinks a week, whether that be throughout the week or just on the weekends, 7 drinks a week reduces deep sleep by up to 40%. Deep sleep, when everything great that we're receiving as humans during our sleep is getting suppressed because of that alcohol consumption, right? And you're already doing everything right every single week. You're aiming for 8 hours of sleep a night, right? You're trying to get your steps in, training intensely in the gym, eating as clean as you can. But all of those healthy inputs can be potentially erased because of your alcohol consumption. Again, maybe throughout the week, maybe it's only on the weekends. It can all be erased because of that alcohol consumption. And so that is exactly the topic for today's video. Alcohol, what consuming it actually happens because of it, all of its effects, what alcohol actually is, and how your body responds to it, and what you should do instead, which I think we all know the answer. But let's get right into it. All right, let's get right into it. Alcohol and performance, what it's actually doing to your body, even on the weekends. The moment you stop drinking, even just on the weekends, your body composition, sleep, energy, and mental clarity will shift in ways you didn't even think were possible from one single change. All right, you've probably already made a simple change, not drinking throughout the week, Monday through Friday, right? Oh, I'm just going to drink on the weekends. And that small change probably produced a small change with how you feel, with how you look, but not the change that you wanted, that you were looking for, right? That you didn't want to have to give up drinking entirely, so you wanted to just push it off till the weekend and hope that was enough. But here we are, and you're knowing that you still have to make a decision that you don't want to. Most men think they've already found that compromise, right? Again, maybe I'll just drink on the weekends only, and this will still be okay. It's all about balance. I do not believe in balance. I believe in integration. If you can't integrate alcohol into a healthy lifestyle, it doesn't work. It doesn't integrate. You can't balance. But let's keep on going. I only drink on the weekends. I'm being responsible. This is what you may be thinking. This is what you may be believing. Consolidating drinking only to the weekends feels like a responsible, low damage compromise. But the reality here is that weekend only drinking still does significant damage to the goals you're working towards all week, right? All of that hard work throughout the week, all of that sacrifice in terms of nutrition, right? Choosing the healthy option rather than the unhealthy option because you know that you're not going to be too healthy on the weekend. It means nothing throughout the week if you just ruin it all on the weekend. In this video, I'm not here to demonize alcohol in any way, right? I'm simply here to give you the information so that you can make a genuinely informed decision for your health and overall performance. So section 1 is just about what alcohol actually is. And what it is a toxin. Alcohol is literal poison. And when you drink and consume alcohol, your body is going to instantly start to metabolize and break that down rather than any other process that your body wants to be doing for good health, right? And this is simply called metabolic prioritization. Fat oxidation, muscle protein synthesis, and hormone production all come to a halt while your body is trying to eliminate that alcohol, metabolize it, right? And what happens with that is acetaldehyde, the toxic byproduct of alcohol when it's metabolized. This is damaging cells, causes inflammation, and disrupts every system in your body, all right? Again, just from consuming this liquid. Full system interruption. Every hour your body processes alcohol, it is not building muscle, burning fat, or recovering properly. All right, so this is just simply section 1, and that was about, obviously, what alcohol actually is. Next, section 2 is about hormones and body composition. We're going to start off with 2 of the main ones, which is testosterone and estrogen. All right, testosterone here on the left. Alcohol directly suppresses testosterone, both acutely within hours and chronically with regular use over time. And when there's lower testosterone, this equals less muscle retention. All right, slower fat loss processes, lower libido, lower sex drive, and reduced overall drive and motivation. And even moderate weekend drinking measurably reduces testosterone production. All right, again, just pushing it off till the weekend, it's still going to have a huge effect on what you're trying to achieve. Estrogen here on the right, alcohol increases aromatization. And what this is the process and the conversion of testosterone into estrogen. Alcohol is literally turning your testosterone as a male into estrogen. All right. This compounds testosterone suppression and contributes to fat storage around the chest and midsection area. Higher estrogen plus lower testosterone equals the exact opposite environment for body recomposition as a high performing male. I could not believe that when I was doing research, and I found this out actually a couple years ago, of aromatization, turning testosterone into estrogen, but that is exactly what happens. Growth hormone and insulin, the next two hormones that we're talking about, both get disrupted. Growth hormone here on the left is primarily released during your deep sleep hours. Alcohol destroys sleep quality and deep sleep in general, significantly blunting GH output. Growth hormone is critical for fat metabolism and muscle repair. When there's less GH, slower recovery, and less fat burning. So you can't compensate this for this in the gym, right? Thinking, okay, I'll just outwork my alcohol consumption. It doesn't work like that, right? It's what you are putting into your body and what happens after that. The damage happens while you think you're resting. Insulin sensitivity here on the right, alcohol impairs insulin sensitivity, which the body handles carbohydrates less efficiently for 48 plus hours post drinking. The whole goal and meaning of carbs is to give you energy, right? You burn carbs and that gives you energy for your workouts, for your lifts, for your meetings, for your sales calls, everything. It gives you the energy that you want. But with alcohol causing that insulin sensitivity, carbohydrates don't work like you want them to, and it actually results in fat storage. Like it says here, this contributes to fat storage even from foods that otherwise wouldn't be a problem for you. For someone trying to lose body fat, this is a direct and often invisible barrier to progress. Empty calories and appetite dysregulation. So for alcohol, there is 7 calories in 1 gram of alcohol, right? And you're not getting any return from those 7 calories. Alcohol provides 7 calories per gram, which is more than carbs or protein. Both are 4 calories per gram with zero nutritional value for it. Empty calories. Leptin disruption. Alcohol disrupts leptin, which is your satiety hormone. When you're eating something and you've ate enough of it, your body is going to tell you that you've ate enough of it, sending a signal to your brain, which is called leptin. You're feeling satiated, you're feeling full. But leptin gets disrupted from alcohol, making overeating almost inevitable on nights that you drink. So the compounding effect here, extra calories, poor food choices, hormonal disruption equals a fat storage environment that carries into the week. Again, it's not about not drinking throughout the week and only on the weekends. That still has all of these effects that you do not want and that you're trying to avoid, but don't want to make the decision to do it. Let's talk about the numbers here again. 7 calories per gram of alcohol, zero nutritional value here. Testosterone gets suppressed acutely within hours of consumption and 48 plus hours for insulin sensitivity to begin recovering. Everything that you do not want here just by drinking on the weekends. The weekend drinking myth. This is section 3 here. So I only drink on the weekends. Why this isn't the safe option for you. The 7-day recovery window, all right? Testosterone, sleep architecture, and inflammatory markers take 4 to 7 days to return to baseline, what they normally should be for your body after a heavy session, right? And again, you're drinking only on the weekends, thinking that that's doing something better than not drinking. And yes, I mean, it's a little bit better than not drinking throughout the week, but still, takes up to 7 days for your body to return back to normal levels. Your HRV is going to be so low after drinking. I've seen this with clients in the very beginning when we work together and they haven't made the sacrifice of alcohol yet. Their HRV is blown out of the water. Resting heart rate shoots up. Their recovery is horrible. Deep sleep is non-existent, right? And it takes 4 to 7 days for that to come back to normal. You drink on Sunday, you drink on Saturday night, You don't drink again until Saturday night. Still, your body just got recovered from last Saturday night. And that's the whole process and the loop that you are stuck in. Recovery, not optimization. Say you are Steve, right? Spending the majority of your week recovering from weekend, not actually building, burning, or progressing with anything in your life. Exactly what you do not want. Not optimizing everything in your life, poor recovery. The downstream effect here, the damage isn't just in the moment of drinking. It bleeds into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the following, and the entire week after, like I just explained. Those 4 to 7 days can take a lot out of you. Sleep and cortisol, the next two hormones that we're talking about actually, and the hidden cost here. So first on the left here, sleep disruption. We've talked a little bit about this. Alcohol suppresses REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. Even 2 to 3 drinks is enough to significantly blunt the quality of that REM sleep. And REM is where cognitive restoration happens, emotional regulation and muscle repair obviously occurs, right? As well as memory consolidation. I've said it to my clients all the time, just like how our phones have storage capacity, so do our brains, right? And sleep is when we kind of delete the unneeded photos, the unneeded videos, so that we can fit more information and actually progress over time. Sleep is when that happens. Alcohol suppresses that process. Even though you may feel like you got some great sleep last night, because alcohol is Even though you may feel like you slept well last night, you didn't. There is a significant difference in the quality, right? We're not even talking about quantity. You can easily sleep 8 to 12 hours after a heavy night of drinking, right? But the quality is not there, even if the quantity is. Cortisol spike. Alcohol raises cortisol acutely and keeps it elevated for days in the future. Elevated cortisol equals increased fat storage, particularly visceral fat and abdominal fat. Visceral is that fat that we can see, the one that encases the primary organs in our body, right? That is not what you don't want. That is the dangerous fat gain that you want to completely avoid. Alcohol is forcing it. For someone focused on body composition, chronically elevated cortisol is yet another direct barrier to those results. Your Monday session is already compromised because of what you did on the weekend. Measurably reduced output. So studies have shown that strength, power, and endurance can be measurably reduced for up to 72 hours post-drinking. You're lifting in the gym, thinking that it's Tuesday. You drank on Saturday, and you're like, oh, I'm good. It was 2 or 3 days ago that I drank. Today is Tuesday. I'm going to get a good lift in. You may feel it, right? You're not going to be able to lift as much. You're not going to be able to work out as long, right? You're going to get tired so easily. And that's because of that process and that range here in terms of hours. A deficit before you begin. By the time you hit the gym on Monday, for example, you're already operating at a performance deficit before you even start. All right. And the compounding loss, weeks of training built on compromised foundation, the ROI on effort is slightly being reduced every single weekend. So the key point here, weekend drinking quietly degrades the entire week of training and recovery going forward. Again, I'm just going to drink on the weekends. That's going to affect the whole week forward. And then you're just going to do it again the next weekend and you're stuck in this loop. Section 4 here, your identity piece. Let's talk about this one. I'm excited for it. The real cost isn't just physical. It's the gap between who you are now and who you are becoming. And so the irony here is that doing everything right all week, eating good, training really, really hard, more than ever before, trying to get good sleep throughout the week, going to sleep earlier, waking up a little bit earlier so that you can be productive. And that's what it's all saying here. And then introducing the one variable that blunts the return on every single one of those efforts. Very ironic here. Not just physical, alcohol affects decision quality, ambition, mood, presence. The version of you showing up after a drinking weekend is not the highest version of yourself. You're not able to perform physically and mentally, cognitively because of that weekend. The investment analogy, you're investing in yourself 5 days a week and then partially withdrawing from that investment every single weekend. Putting in a lot, taking back a little bit. putting in a lot, taking back a little bit, right? It's not getting where you want to be in the amount of time you want to do it in. I don't drink not because I follow a rule. This is for me, and I don't drink, but because I've seen and felt the clarity on the other side. All right. I live with 4 roommates. I'm a college student, as you guys know. I'm in university. So, of course, there's parties that I've seen and alcohol everywhere. And I think people are so stupid when they're hammered and crazy drunk. But I see that and I have no desire to go drink. All right. And friends and people who just meet me at parties, whatever, they're trying to get me to take a sip. All right. All I do is I smell it. Okay. I gotta do something. So I smell it. Some of them smell good, some of them smell terrible. But that's the closest I get to it. All right. And I've never taken a sip in my life because I do not care for it. It's drinking poison. It's going to negate everything that I did all week leading up to the weekend, and then I just destroy it. I have no desire for that. The standard of how I want to feel, perform, and show up made that decision easy and continues to make the decision easy year after year. People still ask me if I want to sip. No, never. I'm good. I have no desire for it. This isn't about perfection or deprivation. It's about being honest with what you actually want and whether the weekend drinks are aligned with that. Simple as that. If you're okay with the results that you're getting from just the weekend loop, you're good then. You're fine, right? But if you want to get that highest level, the top 1% in every aspect, you got to make that sacrifice at one point or another. Section 5, harm reduction if you still drink. So, if you choose not to give up the weekend drinking, which of course I hope you do, all right, we've been talking about all of the effects that can happen from it. But if you still decide to, I thought might as well help you guys out and give you a little bit of a protocol after those weekends of drinking, all right? So if you're still going to drink, here's how to minimize the effects and the damage. Hydrate aggressively, that's number one, all right? And you already know this, but 1 glass of water per drink minimum, and then a large glass before you go to sleep, just so that you can already start the metabolizing process and flushing it out of your system. Number 2 is eating before and during, all right? Never drink on an empty stomach. Again, you probably already know this one, but this slows the absorption of the alcohol, reduces the hormonal spike, not reduces all of the effects after, but maybe slightly. 3, lower sugar options. This one's key, all right? Anything besides, again, the sugary drinks, all those highly sweetened and added sugar drinks, avoid that. If you are going to drink, do something clean with no calories, and that's going to do a little bit better for you. But this is a big one that a lot of people do not want to give up as well. Those high sugar, super sweet alcoholic beverages. I mean, that's what leads to one thing to another, obviously. 4 here, cap it early. Stop by 9 to 10 p.m. And this one, I mean, is probably the hardest one for a lot of people, all right? But try and stop at 9 or 10 p.m. And this is going to help give your body more time to process, metabolize, break it all down before you fall asleep so that you can still get the recovery, which is the most important part of health and performance. 5 here, prioritize the next day. So after a night of heavy drinking, right back onto routine immediately. Don't let one night bleed into into a write-off weekend. You want to prioritize that next day. Maybe you're only drinking 1 night a week. That's better than the whole weekend, all right? But still, I didn't want to give this protocol, but I know a lot of people aren't going to stop drinking and stop the loop. And so I want to help you guys in any way I can. So this will obviously help. You've already probably known a lot of this stuff, but again, you either break the loop or you try and fix it and make it work for you, whatever you want to do. What this all means for you. Weekend drinking isn't a free pass. It's a slower version of the same problem. Again, it's that loop that you're stuck in. Your body doesn't reset Monday morning. You've been drinking Sunday, Saturday. It doesn't just reset because it's a new week, a new day, all right? Hormones, sleep, and inflammatory effects carry into that next week. Again, like we said, the 4 to 7 days for everything to come back to normal baseline. You're already doing the work. Alcohol is the variable quietly capping all of your results that you are looking for, and it's all capped simply because of the alcohol consumption on Saturday night. This isn't about shame, right? Like I told you, I'm not trying to demonize it, but obviously I do not like it, and I'm not an advocate of alcohol. But it's about giving you all of this information so that you can make a conscious, aligned decision for you and your goals, what you're trying to achieve in life. If this shifted your perspective, make sure to drop a comment. I want to see that, right? Because it's important to hear other people's experiences. Alcohol consumption is very common, all right? And so maybe what you're going through and what you're feeling inside your head, maybe someone else is going through that, right? So leave a comment about your experiences and your perspective on alcohol. I want to make sure we see that. So there you have it. Like I said, I'm not trying to demonize alcohol, right? But obviously I'm not a fan of it. And if you want to reach that top version of yourself in the best shape possible, you're going to have to make that sacrifice one day sooner rather than later, in my opinion, right? But that is not my choice to make. It is always yours at the end of the day. I hope you learned something from this video. Again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, drop them in the comments. I want to reply back to everybody that says something in those comments. Make sure to leave a like. Make sure to subscribe for more videos just like this. And if you feel you're in a position where you've already achieved amazing results with your health, with your fitness, but you know that there's another level, you can feel it. You may be able to feel that you're slowing down after being in such a good position with your health. If this is you, simply head over to my Instagram, drop me a follow, and DM me the word ready. That tells me obviously that you are ready to stop all the bullshit, get onto the best track and foundation of your life for sustainable results for decades to come.